Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting MacWhisperer live broadcast. I'm Frank, I'm your host for today, and as always, we are thrilled to have you with us. So here's the question for today I'm going to ask you. Have you ever been unsure about the differences between Apple Pay and Apple Cash? Wondering which one to use or how to actually set them up or use them safely? If so, you're in the right place because today we're diving deep into the world of Apple's digital money tools. Today, Dylan's going to tell us and guide us how to master Apple Pay and Apple Cash so that you can send money, make purchases, and protect your finances with confidence. Whether you're tapping to pay at the store or sending money to a friend, Dylan will show you how to do it smarter, safer, and faster. We'll explore how Apple Pay works as a payment method, how Apple Cash holds a balance, and the key differences between them. Plus, we'll walk you through setup, security, privacy, and real-world scenarios that will simplify your everyday transactions. Stick around for Dylan's MacWhisperer power tip. It's a real-world trip to avoid common mistakes and get the most out of both tools. Don't forget your free downloadable resource today. We have an Apple Pay Smart Guide, brand new, your go-to reference for using it like a pro. It's free. It's available only during this broadcast. Please introduce yourself in the chat, especially if you're new. Or if you're one of our legendary live loungers, let us know where you're tuning in from. And let us know what's the first thing you ever purchased with Apple Pay or the first time you used Apple Cash. Remember that it's also your chance to ask Dylan your toughest Apple Pay and Apple Cash questions live. Drop them in the chat. As many of you know, we tackle as many as we can during this session. And now, let's introduce the Tap to Pay teacher, the master of Apple mastery, Dylan Stewart, the MacWhisperer.
It would be great if we could have just a tap to teach feature where you just tap your iPhone on somebody's head and you learn all the different tricks that you can use with your iPhone. It would put me out of business, but it would be a way better way to teach people. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you here. Really excited to have a public YouTube live for us. We've been doing a lot of the member lives, and there's a lot of great value there. And of course, we love our members. We'll talk about that a little bit during the broadcast today. But I love to open this up wider so that we can make sure that people who don't yet know what we do at the MacWhisperer Academy can learn the lessons about how to use their Apple devices simply, properly, and how to make everything you do with your technology easier. I'm Dylan Stewart. We've got Mr. Frank DiCarlo here as well. He's my right-hand man on guiding us. Thank you for being here, Frank. And we're going to get into things right away. I do not need to go into screen share just yet because I want to talk most primarily about what is Apple Pay. And this is a really commonly misunderstood thing, and it's been around for quite some time. So I keep thinking like everybody knows it, but they don't. The misassumption is that Apple Pay is some Apple-related credit and payment system where you must have an Apple credit card in order to make payments with your Apple devices. And that's just wrong. There is an Apple credit card, but the Apple credit card is irrelevant to Apple Pay. It's a credit card you can use with Apple Pay like other credit cards, but you do not need an Apple card at all to work with Apple Pay. So I just shot a recent YouTube video where I'm teaching people about the best MagSafe wallets out there and how to utilize the magnet on the back of your phone to hold your cards and your driver's license and all of these pieces. And a big part of it is to explain why we don't really need wallets anymore. The big George Costanza-sized embarrassment filled with receipts and 400 credit cards and all your cash and pictures of your family are an outdated concept, and it became an outdated concept a decade ago. Most people just haven't gotten that message yet. So what Apple Pay is, very simply, is a way to pay with your credit cards without taking them out of your pocket. Let me say that again. Apple Pay is a simple way to use your credit cards. If you have an Apple card, that's great. But if you've got a Wells Fargo card or a Visa card or a MasterCard or American Express, also great. It works with almost every major credit card company. And what Apple Pay does is rather than pulling your card out and handing it to some stranger who takes it in the back room and runs a machine over it and theoretically charges you and doesn't steal your identity, you tap your device over a receiving terminal. I'll show you what those look like in a moment, and you make your payment. Who needs to carry around 50 credit cards? For those of us that also have the Apple Watch, it is by far the best feature of the Apple Watch. The ability to walk right up to my grocery store and go click, click, and pay, game changer. The nice thing about having it on your phone is it's available, it's easy to get to. We've always got our phones, even if you leave your wallet at home. A lot of people use the tap to pay with their credit card, where they take their credit card and they hold it near a terminal. This is that without needing to take your wallet out, without needing to pull your credit card out. And that is a really, really huge piece, especially for women who generally have a purse with a wallet with a card inside the wallet, and it just becomes complicated. The phone is a better way to do it. The watch is a better way still, because you don't even need to pull the watch out of your pocket. It's just right here. But the concept stays the same. And the way that Apple's organized Apple Pay, if you have it turned on in your iCloud settings on all of your devices, if you have the wallet turned on, most of your credit cards synchronize between your devices. So when you get a new device, you're not jumping through hoops going, where's my credit card? Where's my credit card? You've just got access to all of them. So we're going to talk about Apple Pay a little more. I'm going to show you some tricks about it in just a moment. We're also going to talk about Apple Cash. Apple Cash and Apple Pay are completely different pieces. And everyone is constantly saying to me, well, how do I get paid or pay someone with Apple Pay? And the answer is, if it's not in a retail environment, you're not talking about Apple Pay. If you want to pay your friends like you do with Venmo, we're really talking about Apple Cash. For clarity, Apple Cash is currently only available in the United States. So Manny and Pez, I'm sorry, Apple Cash isn't going to work for you. You guys are in the UK. But for anyone who's in the United States, Apple Cash is going to work great. We're also going to talk a little bit about Tap to Cash and about the Apple Wallet. So we got a bunch of pieces. I'm going to try and weave them all together and make a clear, simple explanation of how to properly use your Apple Wallet, Apple Pay, and Apple Cash. Frank, if you're ready, is there anything else we need to do? We've told them we've got a smart guide coming and we're ready to jump in.
The only thing I wanted to mention, because it's by far the buzz that's already happening, I'm getting more and more inquiries about OS 26. And you and I had a couple of meetings in this past week. Maybe we tell everybody what we're planning on, because the buzz is starting already. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So here's the reality. For anyone who isn't 100% clear, Apple releases new software and new iPhones in the middle of September. They've done this for the last like 13 or 14 years. It's like one of the most consistent things about technology. In the last week and a half, I have had 50 clients call me and say, I'm about to go get a new phone. My carrier is giving me a great deal. Somebody's making it so easy to get a new phone. I'm going to go get an iPhone 16 right now. And my answer is, wait a month. 1 month.
Exactly.
You are 11/12ths of the way to the new iPhone. Buying the 16 today is dumb. And everyone's going to say, but I don't need all the bells and whistles. And I'm going to say, you don't even know what the bells and whistles are yet. You might really love those bells and whistles. You don't know. I don't even know what they are yet, because they haven't announced it yet. The reason I'm sharing this with you is every year in September, Apple releases new phones and a new operating system. And this year's new operating system is a game changer in the way they're doing operating systems. In the past, every operating system has had its own number. So your phone might be on iOS 18, but your watch might be on watchOS 10, and your Apple TV might be on tvOS 9, and your computer might be on macOS 12, or whatever it is. There's 56 different naming conventions. This year, they are aligning all of it under the OS 26 banner. You will have iOS 26 for the phone, iPadOS 26 for the iPad, watchOS 26, tvOS 26, 26, Vision OS 26 if you've got one of the Vision Pro, and Mac OS 26. They're aligning all of it. It's being released in September. Our best guess is that the second week of September is when they will make their announcements, and they will release the software on September 12th. So we're going to join them for September 12th, and we're going to have a public YouTube live, probably an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, this same time on this channel to walk you through all of the best features on the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, and maybe even we'll talk about the watch and some of the other tricks as well. The AirPods are getting some new perks. So if you love your Apple stuff and you want to make sure you're ready for the new releases in September and you want to learn everything there is to learn about them, join us here for our iOS 26, for our OS 26 preview broadcast. September 12th, 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Perfect.
Did I get all the details right?
That was awesome. That was a great summary. It was a lot, but it's going to be exciting, or it's already exciting. So thank you for letting everybody know. Let's bring up the phone. Let's get to work.
Yep. Let's get to work. Okay. So there's two pieces to the Apple Wallet and Apple Pay that we're going to talk about first. Initially, we have this thing. I'm going to move hold on, let me grab my annotator so I can see what I'm doing here. We got a nice white color here. Let's go white. Okay. So right here, we have the Apple Wallet itself. In opening up the Apple Wallet, you can't make a lot of changes to it, but you can access your cards and your other information. As we'll talk about in a few minutes, it's not just for your cards. You can also use it for all sorts of other things like your Apple Business information here. I have an Apple Business account, like your loyalty card to Yogurtland. Can't miss out on Yogurtland. And even other cards like your Starbucks and your ChargePoint cards. We're going to talk about a bunch of pieces of the Apple Wallet. You can also add, by pressing on the plus button that you see up at the top here, new credit cards. But most of what you're going to do in this wallet is not adding and changing things. This is for reference or for making payments. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But where you want to go to, come on, get out of there, get out of there. Where you want to go in order to really make your changes is directly into the Settings app here. And from the Settings app, you're going to come down until you get to Wallet and Apple Pay. Inside of Wallet and Apple Pay, you're going to see a bunch of options. And before I dig in and everybody looks on their phones, I should let you know, I'm currently on the beta iOS 26 version for the iPhone. So my settings for the Wallet and Apple Pay may look slightly different from yours. The same information is in yours that's in mine. It's just organized differently. But I'm getting ready for this release next month, and so I'm running everything on the current operating systems. If it doesn't look exactly like what you're hoping for, let me know. We can figure it out. Up at the top here, we've got basic information like can you use Siri, can you search, are there notifications, etc. But what I really want to talk about is down here we see this thing called Apple Cash, and it's turned on. When we come over to part 2 of this lesson, we're going to dig into a phone where Apple Cash is not yet activated. And before I dig into Apple Pay, I want to talk about Apple Cash for just a moment. We all love Venmo, and we all love Zelle, and there's all these great ways to pay people these days. Back in the day when PayPal was first created, it was the first digital escrow account. An escrow account is a place where a third party holds the money for you so that when you're purchasing something, the person you're purchasing it from knows the money is there and you know that the money is safe and won't be released until you're ready. This became really important with eBay because eBay was the first digital marketplace where we were buying things and nobody trusted the internet yet. So PayPal came in as a really easy way for us to send money between people without worrying, what if they scam me? Apple Cash is the evolution of that escrow concept. Much like when you pay somebody with Venmo, it doesn't go directly into their bank account. When you pay somebody, that's the wrong thing, I need a V there. When you pay somebody with Venmo, it goes into your Venmo wallet where it holds the balance there. And you can take that balance from Venmo and put it into your bank anytime you want. But when somebody pays you on Venmo, it doesn't go right to your bank. Apple Pay is just like that. I'm sorry, Apple Cash is just like that. It is a payment system from Apple to Apple users where you can send money easily to somebody and it holds on to it in your Apple wallet, making it easy for you to put it into your bank or send it to other people. I only am talking about that now because we're in the settings screen and that's where you're going to see Apple Cash, and we're going to come back to it in a moment. You can really easily add a card into your Apple wallet. And to add your card, to make it available for Apple Pay, you're going to click the Add Card button here, and you'll see that it'll find cards, give you options. Sometimes you can tap your card on your phone in order to transfer it. I'm going to do it manually by clicking where it says Debit or Credit Card and clicking Continue. This is going to open up my This should have opened up my, there we go, scan card with camera. It's going to open up my camera, allowing me to focus right on the card. This is a fake card, so it really doesn't matter. And it puts the information right there. Once you've done that, that card is accessible within your Apple Pay anytime you need it. So you can take literally any credit card. This wasn't even a real card. This is like a debit card from the LADWP for me. And as you add those cards in, they're going to show up in your wallet and in your listing with your other cards. Last piece of this that's important here, I'm going to scroll back up to where it says Apple Pay defaults. This is a new section. You're not going to see it on the old phone. Again, it's just in a different place. But the setting I want you to pay attention to is this one right here that says, show it to me, Dylan, double click side button. Of everything we're going to talk about Apple Pay, that is the most essential piece to set up. And inside of your wallet and Apple Pay settings, you will find that even on the old version. Find it, make sure it is turned on. Now, for clarity, if you do not have a phone that is Face ID, if you have one of the older phones with a home button, you can't do that. You don't have a side button and there's no dedicated way to get to Apple Pay. But if you do have a facial ID phone, any of the phones from the last 14 years at this point, there is a side button on the right side of your phone. Double clicking it quickly will immediately engage you into Apple Pay. Most people think this is the wallet, and it kind of is, but this is the most functional part of Apple Pay. This is where you walk into your grocery store or your gas station or wherever it is that you need to make a payment. And for clarity, the only place that I see trouble with using Apple Pay still is restaurants. Restaurants still like to take your card. In most restaurants, if you ask, they will be able to do Apple Pay, but when they come to your table, they tend to just put your little card in the little wallet. They're also addicted to the old wallet style of things, and they take it in the back. It's a little unsafe. Apple Pay is a safer way of doing things. So having it set up on your phone and having that double-click side button functional means that you walk into the grocery store, you put your stuff on the conveyor belt, they bring everything up, you double-click your phone, hold it near the receiver, and you are paid. You'll see here it's asking for me to hold it near the reader, which there isn't one, but that's how you do it. Now let's talk about the readers for just a moment, which I have a nice little image for us here. If you walk into an establishment and you say, do you accept Apple Pay? 50% of the time, they'll know the right answer. They'll always give you an answer. They just may not know. And the reason is because Apple Pay is riding on top of a different technology called NFC, near field communication. And what NFC means is that you can come within 3 inches of an NFC transmitter and make a connection, near field communication, 2 to 3 inches at most. So when you see one of these terminals and you hold your phone over it, double clicking on the side, it enables you to make that payment. But the thing that people don't generally understand is that it doesn't have to be Apple Pay. Almost every time you see this symbol, And I know that's not a great zoom, and I'm going to show you another one of them. But every time you see that symbol, do it over here as well. See it? It kind of looks like those little waves. You might even see that symbol on the back of your current credit card because it's got tap to pay turned on as well. Near field communication can use the chip of your credit card to communicate with the transmitter easily. But when you're working with Apple, it's literally any one of these receivers that you see that signal on, and there are hundreds and hundreds of them. So I'm going to come in and take this away from being Apple Pay. We're going to call it an NFC terminal. So you can see they've got lots of different styles and lots of different looks, but the one piece they've all got, that is the wrong thing. I don't want to be on that page. But the one thing that they've all got is that same symbol of the little waves. Let's see if I can find a good version of that one right there. That's a perfect version of it. They've all got that same symbol right there. So wherever you see that symbol, they take Apple Pay. And you don't have to ask. We've gotten a lot better because Apple Pay has been around long enough, so most stores know, but you're always going to bump into people who just don't understand that that equals Apple Pay. So you can do an Apple Pay anywhere you see that, anywhere in the world, easily and simply. As I said before, almost any cards will work. You can use any Visa, MasterCard, American Express. You can add them all in. And in addition to being able to do credit cards, you can also use your wallet to add other things like movie tickets, concerts, or airline tickets. Now, my wife and I are going to a movie later today. I'm going to see a little, I guess it's an indie movie called Sketch. We're kind of excited about it. For purchasing movie tickets, airline tickets, it's a little haphazard how you add things into the wallet. It's not super unified like we'd all like it to be. For movies, if you purchase it using an app like Fandango, which is what we used here, you can come in, click on your ticket, and you'll see an option that says Add to Apple Wallet. The biggest key for adding things to the Apple Wallet, bar none, don't do it from the computer. Do it from the phone. If you got an email from your airlines about your upcoming trip, don't open it on the computer. Open it from your phone. If you've got a ticket from Fandango, don't open it on the computer. Open it from the phone, because when you open it from the phone, you will have the option to add it to the Apple Wallet, usually right here. You'll click a single button. It'll ask you, is it okay to add it? I'll go ahead and click add. And that means that when I double click that side button at the movies later tonight, where did it go? There it is. Our tickets are right there, and we won't have to fumble around or look at emails. Apple Wallet works really, really well to get you those sort of pieces. But I'm moving between Apple Wallet, Apple Pay, Apple Cash intentionally because they're all related. They're all sub parts of the Apple Wallet. But the most important thing for you to recognize from this section, and we're going to move in to another section in just a moment, the critical piece and the piece that I see people having the most trouble with is when you do not have your side button turned on. And then getting to Apple Pay is a pain in the butt. Turn on the double click side button. If you have a phone that has a home button, it will be a double click of the home button when you're in lock mode, but it doesn't work quite as well. It wasn't made for it like these were. A double click of the side button is going to make that happen simply, and 100% of people should have that turned on, and I don't know why they don't. For clarity, if you don't have any cards in your Apple Wallet, you won't be able to turn that on, so add a card first. And the very last piece I'm going to talk about when it comes to cards is loyalty cards, company cards, things like a Costco card, or in my case, a Kaiser Permanente card, can all be added in here as well. In most cases, you're going to go to the app for that particular company. I'm going to go into Kaiser Permanente here, and it's going to sign me in. Okay. And I'm going to click on my member ID up here. And you see up at the top where it says very clearly, add to Apple Wallet. Anytime you see that on the phone, it will work perfectly. If you try and do it on the computer or even the iPad, If you want it on your phone, which is where you should want it, because I don't expect anybody to take their iPad into the movie theater to pay for their ticket. Anywhere you see it on the iPhone, I would add it without thinking about it. I'm going to add this to my Apple Wallet. We'll go ahead and agree. And that means the next time I need to go to my doctor, I won't have to go through their clunky app. I can double click that right side button, scan my card, and get taken care of. Super easy, super simple. So Frank, let's pull away from the screen share for a moment. I see a couple of questions I'd like to grab. I'd also like to remind people, if you're asking questions in the chat, add the letter Q before the question. It just makes it easier for us to see it at a glance.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
The one thing I wanted to answer here is Julia asks, what's the difference? But
I'm sorry.
Please.
Bill said if you want to do a demo, he'd be happy to receive some cash from you.
Of course he would. Yeah, we can actually do that. I actually have a separate phone here for that, and we will be doing a demo on that. Sorry, Bill, but I'm prepped and ready for you. I've already got it handled. Frank would also like me to send him cash. In fact, is there anyone on this chat that wouldn't like some free? I'll just start sending cash to everyone. It's not going to happen. I'm not sending cash out. But thank you, Bill. I think that's fun. Will you pull up Julia's comment here from the recently?
Absolutely.
One of the last comments. There you go. So this is the place that most people stumble. The question she's asking underlines the communication challenge with the way Apple has named things. Her question is, what's the difference between Apple Cash and Apple Wallet? Right? Apple Wallet is the app that you use. Apple Cash is when you have a card put into the wallet. Apple Pay is when you have a card put into the wallet. The wallet is the thing. Everything else is a sub piece of the wallet. So the wallet, Apple Wallet holds everything. It holds your cards, it holds Apple Cash, it lets you do Apple Pay, it holds the Apple Card, it holds your Kaiser Permanente loyalty cards, your movie tickets. All of that is within the Apple Wallet application. Within the Apple Wallet application, you can receive cash through Apple Cash. You can pay for things using Apple Pay. Don't get those subsections confused. The wallet is the application. Okay. Frank, why don't we, what are we talking about? We're talking about membership?
Yeah, what I was going to say is, aside from all the OS 26, Frank, what's Dylan doing for OS 26? All those questions, bar none, still what people ask most about is the smart guides. And I take for granted sometimes that everybody knows about the smart guides, and I don't know if everybody's aware of what the team put together in this page where you can now download all of the smart guides at any time, or at least visit them. And I think this is really well done. I think the team did a dynamite job. You have different sections here. If you're looking for just the Mac smart guides, for an example, you can click on that and it'll bring you to the Mac smart guides. Here's a notes. And you can take a look at the actual PDF. And smart guides are basically sort of like cheat sheets. They're pages, PDF pages put together to walk our members and our students through, and anybody that you share this with, how to work in this instance in Notes. So I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to show that today because the team did a dynamite job.
So it's a great segue, and let's talk about who gets to see our smart guides. Well, welcome to our first live of the month. The first lives are public lives. We open them up to everybody on YouTube. We welcome you. If you've never been to one of our lives before, hi, I'm Dylan. Really great to have you here. But we also do three or four other lives during the rest of the month that are specifically for our YouTube members. Our YouTube members get special privileges and perks. They get several live classes just like this every single month, and there are 4 separate levels to the membership. The membership allows you to support us so that we can make more videos, give you more wisdom, and continue to do free broadcasts like this. There are 4 levels. The lowest level is the 99-cent level. It's an easy way to say thank you and get yourself access to our members only live videos. The second one is $4.99 per month, and that is another way to say thank you and get access to our members only live videos and a couple of the other perks. You may notice that you see names in the chat that have an apple to the right of them. Those are current members. Those apples ripen the longer they stay a member. At some point, they will get to the full rainbow apple that I always thought was the better logo for Apple from the beginning. In addition to that, we have a $9.99 level, and that gives you the smart guide every week directly. You can download it directly. You don't have to be on the live broadcast to get it. We make these smart guides regularly. There's a ton of them, and we really love to share our wisdom with these smart guides. So the $10 a month member gets access to the smart guides. They're on our community page as soon as we're done with our broadcasts. But the granddaddy of all of them, the Maximum membership, gives you full access to our entire growing smart guide library. For less than $20 a month, you get access to every smart guide we've got and every one we create. And we're creating somewhere in the vicinity of 10 to 15 per month. With OS 26 around the corner, we have a ton of them ready to release. For the $20 a month subscription, you absolutely get access to all of them, and you get the live, private live YouTube live broadcasts that we do, as well as a ton of other perks that we love to have you utilize. So if you are not yet a member and you're loving what you're getting here and you've already learned something new, go ahead and join the membership. We'll welcome you right in, right here. We'll see if anybody joins while we're here. We're at about 170 members. I'm hoping to crack 200 by the end of September. I'd love you to be one of those new members that helps us get there. Thank you to all of the existing members. You're how we're able to do broadcasts like this and put this time and energy and effort in. And the most amazing thing about the YouTube membership, it's something I didn't know when I started YouTube. The YouTube members have become parts of our family. We see them, we connect with them, we communicate with them, we see them on our live broadcasts every week. Many of them I've done one-on-one classes with. Several of them are also a part of the MacWhisperer Academy, which we'll discuss in a few minutes. But in general, the members have helped me know what you guys want to see in videos, what you want to learn about, and in the case of a couple of members, have completely changed how I do things. There's one member who turned me on to Apple Books, and that's become where all my smart guides are located now. Thanks again, Mark. Always great to have that boost. It's just super helpful. One of the other members turned me on to using numbers and pages instead of Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel, and I canceled my Microsoft subscription finally, and I haven't even thought twice about it. So my members are teaching me too. I'd love to have you be a member. It's a great way to continue to learn and to support us to bring you more videos like this. And that's just plenty of yabbering. I think we're done with that.
Let's give a quick hand to our members.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. And I hope some of you do end up joining. We'd love to see you here and continue to support you. Let's step into the conversation of Apple Cash. And for this, actually, Frank, I'm going to go to a different phone for just a moment. Okay, so hang on. Turn that off for 1 second.
No problem.
Should that one. Should get it this time. Okay. Yep, good. All right. So I'm on a separate phone here right now, and I'm on this separate phone specifically because A, it's on iOS 18, so it's going to look a little bit more like your guys' phones. I'm in the wrong setting here. I'm going to come into the wallet and Apple Pay. I'm going to show you the double click side button right there. It's right there. It's really important to set it up. You'll notice here that Apple Cash is not set up yet. Many of you have your setting just like this, and without Apple Cash set up, you're not going to be able to send payments the way we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to click here to add a card. I'm sorry, did I do that the wrong way? I'm going to click on Apple Cash here to continue it. The way Apple Cash works is it connects to a debit card. This allows you to pull money from a bank into Apple Cash, like you would for Venmo, or to take money that people give you from Apple Cash and put it back in your bank. So I should be able to do this relatively quickly here. This is going to need me to set up my identity. I'm not going to do that in this moment. But for the rest of you, it's really valuable for you to take those steps and get your Apple Cash properly set up so that you can use it easily. Let's switch off to the other phone, Frank. You don't have to do anything. I'm just going to pull it around. I just wanted you guys to see that many of you may not have set up Apple Cash, and you'll want to do that. You'll want to set it up with an existing debit card so that it's easy for you to send and receive money to it. Get this back on here.
There you go.
Got it back on? Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay. So how do you, where'd my thing go? Completely missing my screen all of a sudden. Okay. Well, it's working, so that's all that I really care about. All right, so how do you use Apple Cash? As I said, Apple Cash is like Venmo. It's a way for you to easily send stuff from your Apple devices to another person's Apple devices, like Bill. Sorry, Bill, not going to happen. Still not going to happen. The easiest way to do it is to come into your Messages app. In this case, I'm going to go over to my wife here. You'll notice the background of my messages looks different. That's part of the new iOS 26. I'm going to click the plus button on the left of the text field. And within here, you're going to find Apple Cash as an option. As long as your Apple Cash is properly set up, you can give as much money as you want. You can show your keypad and give my wife a nice little Christmas gift.
It's cool.
Or it's a cool font, right?
Yeah.
Little beveled embossed font. Mm-hmm. When you've got your price set, all you're going to do is press that little send button and confirm it. It's going to pull the money from my debit card because I don't have enough balance in my Apple Cash, and it's going to immediately send that to my wife. All she needs to do is click on that, and it will download into her Apple Cash where she can spend it on anything she wants or put it into her bank. When you have money in Apple Cash, and we're going to do that this way, I'm going to come into the wallet here. When you have money in your Apple Cash, you'll see it show up here. Okay. At the moment, you can see there's no balance, mostly because we just sent it to my wives. Am I right, Frank? Just kidding. But if I wanted to add more funds into Apple Cash once I've got it set up, I can easily click the three buttons in the upper right-hand corner, and I can click Add Money. Now, I commonly use my Apple Cash to pay for my Apple Card. It's because it's an immediate transfer. If I use some other way to pay for my Apple Card, it can take a day or 2 or 3 for it to process. But when I process it from Apple Cash, it happens immediately. So I might take $10 or $20 and add it into my Apple Cash just like this. Again, it's going to use the double click on my side button to pull it from my Wells Fargo card and drop that $20 directly into Apple Cash. Now that I have it here, I can send that money easily. You can also request money with Apple Cash, just like with Venmo. If I click on Send or Request, I can click on my wife and I can request her to send me back that $10. I'll click Request. We'll see if she gets the memo, and I'll send that. And she'll now get the option to come back into that text message chain and click on the button that says Request and give me $10, which will come into my account. So sending and receiving with Apple Cash is really, really easy to do. And for clarity, now that we have $20 on my Apple Cash, if I come into my wallet and I come to my Apple Card, if I go to make a payment, and the payment is, come on, give me another, I don't want that amount. I want a different amount, other amount. Give me the other amount. If I add a payment that is within the amount of money I've got on Apple Cash, when I go to pay for it, notice that the top option it gives me is Apple Cash, meaning that I can go right from that escrow account directly to pay off my bank. Why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because the way the Apple Card works is different from any other credit card. If you guys have reward cards and miles cards, and great, I know the world thinks they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. You can fly all the way to Europe on just your points, blah, blah, blah. The problem that I have with points and rewards is that there's no transparency. What's a point worth? What's a reward worth? How far will a mile actually get me? There's no way to know. So when Apple created the Apple Card, they did it slightly differently. When you make a payment using the Apple Card, you get cash back that day. That means if you buy a computer or you buy some product, it ends up showing up immediately in your Apple Cash. You see, the Apple Card uses Apple Cash for its escrow account. And as you earn those rewards, and I know everybody loves earning miles, I'm not faulting the miles, I'm just asking you, what is a mile worth? How much will a reward buy you? Is it $1? Is it 10 cents? Is it 1/100th of a penny? Does it change or is it consistent? It's however much they feel like giving you. But when you're using the Apple credit card instead, it's a straight up 1% if you swipe the card on anything, 2% if you use it from Apple Pay, 3% if it's an Apple product, and sometimes towards the end of the year, they'll give you 6% on Apple products, which is a great deal if you're buying a bunch of Christmas presents for everyone. And as soon as that payment has gone through, the cash shows up right here, which you can use to buy a trip to the Bahamas or pay off the credit card bill, which is what I tend to do with it. And I love that it's so easy because it shows up here automatically. And all I have to do is come into the card, click on the payment section, put in the amount, and that $20 or however much goes right in. I'm going to do it right now because it's that easy and I might as well make a payment. I mean, might as well. I'll click pay $20. You'll see it's set on Apple Cash. I'm going to double click it. And that payment was immediately made. My balance went down instantaneously. And if we come back to our Apple Cash, you'll notice I now have a zero balance. So that's my intention of giving you a little bit better understanding of Apple Cash itself. Now, with that being said, let's step back into the room.
We can do that.
That's going to give me an opportunity to reset my screen share so I can see what I'm doing again. Something went wonky on me. All right.
Do you want to talk about the Academy for a minute?
I would love to. What a great segue.
Yeah.
He planned that. Did you see that? It's like seamless.
Before we forget, because I think we often forget, that landing page that we showed, or that page that you can download and view all the smart guides, that is available to the Mac Maximum on the YouTube membership. And obviously, our Academy members have access to that. We sometimes forget to tell people that.
Yep. Yep. Well, now we didn't forget.
Now we didn't forget.
Awesome. Oh, will you pull up our Academy card for me, please?
Let's bring it. Let's do that. There you go.
So I have been doing full-time Mac support, coaching, and consulting for almost 25 years now. It's been a long journey. I've learned an amazing amount. I remember my first jobs were right when the first iPod came out. That was when I really got started with my business. So I have been here through all of Steve Jobs' rise, his passing, and the 10 years afterwards. For anyone who didn't know, Tim Cook has officially been CEO of Apple longer than Steve Jobs. Happened last week. That is the fact. We owe it all to Steve Jobs, but you should remember Steve Jobs was not the CEO in the beginning. He was just on the board. He was the chairman of the board. At any rate, in that 25 years, let me tell you what I've learned. We've all got the same questions. We've all got the same problems. Apple doesn't explain things. They don't tell you how to use things. So they make this amazing tool and then it sits there. Why would I double click the right side button on my phone, Dylan? Haven't you used Apple Pay? Doesn't that require a credit card? No. Little things that change everything come out regularly, and they are a part of the biggest problem with Apple is that they don't tell you how to use the amazing stuff they're creating. So several years ago, I created the MacWhisperer Academy as a community filled with like-minded students who want to learn how to use all of their Apple devices properly. They want to learn about the new perks, the new tweaks, the new settings, the new features. You want to learn how iOS 26 is going to change things or how to organize your Mac. There are so many topics to cover that it's impossible for me to do them all on YouTube. They need a deeper dive. They need a classroom setting where you can raise your hand, ask questions, and get direct support from me, from Frank, and from your fellow students. The MacWhisperer Academy is the thing that I'm proudest of having created in my business. In 25 years, this has helped more people than anything else that I've done. And it can help you too. Whether you're struggling with your technology or you just want to learn how to use it better, whether you've got a new device and you want to figure out the best features, or you've got an old device and you know there's a better way of doing things, the MacWhisperer Academy is a clear and simple answer to help you stop being frustrated with our smart devices and let you be smart again. Teach you how to use it. The MacWhisperer Academy is a $100 per month subscription. In that month, you get 2 live 2-hour training sessions every month, 2 live 1-hour question and answer sessions where you can ask any question, and people do. I love those Q&A sessions. You get a discount on my one-on-one time, and you get free access to the entire Smart Guide library. So if you're looking to up your game, if you're ready to stop being frustrated with your technology, if it's time for you to finally get a handle on how to use your iPhone and stop asking your kids how to do things that makes them roll their, Dad, Mom, don't you know how to do this? It's so easy. If you don't want to feel foolish in front of your kids, come join us at one of our classes. Frank gives out free tickets to anybody who would like to attend. If you are ready and you know that this is for you, there is a 30-day free QR code and a link that Frank will put into the chat. Our next class is on Saturday. We're digging into the iPad. You're going to learn all sorts of tips and tricks about how to organize and make your iPad easier to use and easier to function. As we head into September, we are going to deep dive on all of the OS 26 functions so that every one of my students knows how to do every single thing that Apple has added. And there are some doozies in this year's releases. So MacWhisperer Academy, we'd love to see you there. If you're interested in just auditing a class, talk to Frank. If you're interested in coming and joining us, hit that QR code and we'll see you in class on Saturday. It's 9 a.m. Pacific time. Manny is asking about the iOS 26 preview live broadcast. That will be at noon on September 12th, unless Apple doesn't release it that day. If Apple changes the date, we'll change with them, but our assumption is that's the release date. So we'll let you guys know as we get a little bit closer into September.
Yeah, we're scheduled for the Friday, the 12th.
Fantastic. So
I just wanted to say, as much as I love doing these lives, I really enjoy the classes because we do that in a Zoom environment. Right, people come on camera, and you especially get to interact with everyone, and it's not one-sided. Right, you're actually having a conversation. So, as Dylan said, take us up on email me. I'd be happy to invite you. Take us up on it. It's always a good time. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the members who are all thumbs upping and the students who are already a part of the academy letting everyone else know in the chat like it's worth it. It's worth it. It is a game changer. And I can't even tell you what kind of game changer because I haven't met you yet. But I know for a fact everyone who's come through this class has walked out on day one better, significantly better. Even Frank. Frank gets great wisdom from it every time we do it. So I love that.
That's absolutely true. I was just going to say, as terrific as you are, it's the community. It's the people that really make it.
It's just a friendly, fun environment. If you love learning, this is a great way to do it. And I really love all the communities that we're building for the MacWhisperer, the YouTube community, the membership on the YouTube community, and the Academy community. But here's the trick. It's all the same community. We're all connecting with the same goal of making your Apple technology easy again. All right. I got two quick power tips, and then hopefully we can have a couple of minutes for questions. I'm going to do this one really, really quickly. There is a. Ooh, good job. Nice drum roll. Scared the crap out of me, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm here. All right. What I want to talk about with power tip number one is the single easiest way to pay someone that is close by to you with Apple Cash. And it's a new feature called Tap to Cash. Not tap to pay, which is using your little credit card. It's called Tap to Cash, and it's super easy to do. Once you've got Apple Cash set up, all you're going to do is come into your control center, edit it, click on Add a Control, and you're going to type for tap. You'll see Tap to Cash right there. And when you add Tap to Cash, it's going to become one of the components of your control panel. You can see it for me in the right corner. Let me circle it so that we can all see it. It's that one right there with a little cash insignia. And so what happens when I engage my control panel and tap that is it immediately opens me up to an Apple Cash area where I can take whatever I need, and take $25 here. Just giving money left and right, Frank. Just left and right. I'm going to make that less. I'm going to make it $1, not $2. It can be $2. And I'm going to double click to confirm it. That cash is now in my Apple Cash balance. And see that cool little logo that it's got? If I hold my phone near to another phone that has Apple Cash enabled, such as my phone for Reggie over here, if I hold it close, you will see it transfer right into the other person's account, just like that. And that person receives it instantly. And I'm going to turn that off because I actually can't accept it here. That sends it over immediately. Go away, message. Sends it over immediately and allows the person to use that money at will. And remember, even when you are making an Apple Pay payment, if you happen to have enough Apple Cash in your balance, you can pay using Apple Cash at any Apple Pay terminal. And yes, I just linked those two things together, and I'm hoping that doesn't confuse you. And I'm going to take one last step to back up to say, Apple Wallet is where everything lives. Apple Wallet is this area here. Apple Cash is an escrow account that you can set up with a debit card that allows you to hold onto money inside of an Apple account or receive money from Apple people or Apple cards. Apple Pay is the method by which you double click on your side button, choose the card that you want to use, and make a payment at any reseller that accepts NFC payments. So they all line up together, but they're all a little bit different. And I have one last piece that we're going to bring in here for a second power tip. I wish I could say this will work for everyone. It won't. Oh. Wish I could say that this will work for everyone. It won't. It only works in the United States and only in certain states, but it is super valuable. We're going to start by coming into my settings here and coming down into Apple Wallet. And from here, I'm going to click where it says Add Card. See what it says right at the bottom there? Driver's license and ID cards. If you live in any of these states or in Japan, you can now put your driver's license digitally, legally, supported by the DMV and your state laws directly on your phone. So you can stop carting around that George Costanza wallet, put your cards on your Apple Wallet, add your driver's license to your Apple Wallet, and leave the wallet at home. That's my other tip for you. A lot of people don't know that that's happened. California was recently added. I haven't even added it for myself yet, but that's mostly because I want to make a YouTube video of it. And once I've added it, I've added it. So that's on here waiting for that YouTube video to be made. But for you, If you live in one of those states, get your driver's license on there and get ready because when iOS 26 comes out, we should be able to add our passports as well, and it should be legally binding for airports and any other services. Just think about all the things you don't need to carry in a wallet now, just like that. Frank, I think everyone's been
Yes, sir.
patient, been waiting and sitting and hoping, and I think we take them off the waiting train. What you got for us?
Should we get into questions or should we share today's smart guide?
Let's get the smart guide out so that we can roll questions and not worry about the clock for a few
Let's
minutes.
let's do it.
Because I love you guys and I want to make sure you've got your smart guide, that you know how to use Apple Pay and you understand Apple Cash and the Apple Wallet and the differences in between them. And get ready because there's a couple of YouTube videos in the next month that will talk about some of these topics even deeper.
Yeah. So here's the brand new Apple Pay smart guide. Looks like we got quite a few pages here. The team, as always, is doing an amazing job graphically and making this self-explanatory, making it easier for our users or for our students and our YouTube members. So please download this. You can use the QR code. There's also a short URL there. I'll put a link in the chat in a moment. But please download those, share them with your friends, tell them what you're learning here. Let me get that together. Put that in the chat for everybody.
Fantastic. These smart guides were an accidental discovery by our team. We were making a course on the iPhone, and I wanted some handouts or takeaways, and I built in those days, we were calling them cheat sheets. I built our first cheat sheet, and people like downloaded and printed it out and told me, I need more, do it for this, do it for that. So if there's a smart guide that you would like to see, especially if you're a member, just let me know. We're building them left and right. And you can email Frank, you can put it in the chat, you can drop it in our community posts on YouTube. By the way, I opened up the community posts a little bit better this week. So we should have a more ability for people to post what you'd like to see, even if you're not a member. Be in communication. I love the people who are watching the YouTube videos as much as the members. I want to make sure that we're delivering what you're looking to see. So grab those smart guides. Grab that QR code and let me know what you want a smart guide for or another video for on our channel.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right,
let's take some questions. I do recognize
questions.
that we're a few minutes before 1 o'clock. I'm happy to stay for a few minutes afterwards.
I think you
Start with
covered
Lorna.
this. Yeah, did you not?
I mean,
cover this?
I'll do it again just because you just never know.
Yep.
So Lorna asks, how do you add cards? I'm going to add my fakey fake card again. Just fine. It's easy to do. If your card has a chip, holding your card near your phone will add it automatically, which is kind of cool, but doesn't have a chip. Let's talk about loyalty cards in just a second. If you'll hold that off, Frank, I'm going to do this
Not a
one
problem.
first.
Just want to make sure in case you wanted to incorporate it. That's another.
So I'm gonna start by coming into settings. From settings, I'm gonna find my wallet and Apple Pay. From the wallet and Apple Pay, I'm going to come to where it says add card. Be aware if you're doing it from the wallet itself, there is still a place to add a card up at the top on the little plus there, but it's much easier to do it from the settings app, not the wallet app. The wallet app is better for usage, not for settings. So I'm going to come to where it says add card here, and it says cards found for you. These are cards that are on other devices that haven't been synchronized. As I said, Apple synchronizes all your Apple Pay and Apple Wallet cards. But I'm going to come and grab a new one, clicking where it says debit or credit card. And I'm going to hold it. If I had, you can see here, if I have if I have a card that has a chip on it, I can hold that chip right near my phone and it will add it immediately. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to click where it says enter card details manually. From here, I could type in the card number, but anyone who knows me knows I'm way lazier than that. So I'm going to click the button that says scan card with camera instead, and it's going to open up my camera, hold it over it. It's going to grab that number. When I click the check button right there, it's going to go ahead and ask for expiration date and other information. Once I put that in, that card is ready to be used in my wallet for anything that I want to use it for.
Simple.
So whether you're adding it from the chip or you're adding it from the camera, either way, it should be done in the settings section and it should be pretty simple. Okay,
Great.
let's talk about loyalty cards. You'll recall when I was talking about adding things to the wallet that I said it's not universal. When Apple Wallet first came out and there was no competitors, everybody had an add to wallet at the bottom. But now many companies have created their own app and they don't want you to use Apple. They want you to use their app like the Fandango app that we showed. Your particular loyalty cards depend upon the company itself. In most cases, they will have an app and you can download that app. And let's see if my Yogurtland has the app still. Here's haven't been there in a while. That's why it got offloaded. So if you have an app for that loyalty card, and many of them do, start there. Go to that first. It's not as simple as just scanning a QR code. You need to get to somewhere where you can find the button that says add to wallet. And the same is true for your airline tickets, for your movie tickets, for your concert tickets. Look for the add to Apple Wallet on your phone. I'm going to open up Yogurtland here. And will it open for me? Nope. It doesn't like my operating system. Yogurtland won't let me do it. And I was looking for it. I know that Costco has a way for you to add your Costco card directly to the wallet, but I couldn't find it when I was looking for it before this class. I know there's a way to do it. I believe it's connected into this account section here and coming into this area there, but haven't been able to figure it out yet. It's not universal. It's very hit or miss. So my best information for you is start with emails that you get from the airlines, from the tickets, from the concerts. Look for add to Apple Wallet there. If you don't find it, download their app and look in their app. That's usually where you'll locate it. And then you don't need to keep the app once you've added that card over. As we can see with my Yogurtland card, the app isn't even working and it's still there and ready for me. And I'm going to say one other thing about that. You'll notice that I have this ChargePoint card. ChargePoint is for electric vehicles. They're all over the country where you can charge your car by swiping your card. I lost my card 3 seconds after they gave it to me. They gave me a card and they gave me one of those little wallet fobs for your keychain. Both were gone within 3 minutes. I couldn't tell you where they went, but I was able to get onto the app and they had an add to wallet button. Look on the app. It will usually make it easier for you. What else you got, Frank?
Got a quick question from Jeffrey. How does Apple Pay know which credit card to use?
You tell it. So when you double click in, it uses whatever your default card is, and then you can tap on the stack and pick any other card in order to pull that card up instead. When you are inside of settings, let's go back here, you will choose what your default card is. You'll see here for me, it's my Wells Fargo Business Debit. Choose your default card as the one you use the majority of the time, and then it will show up when you double click. In the occasions you want a different card, just tap and tap. You'll notice also, I just want to point this out, each time I pull up a card like this, it's scanning my face. Why is it doing that? Because I'm in my wallet, and if somebody else was in my wallet, they wouldn't be able to get this far. It uses Face ID to validate that you're the right person for using that card. So if somebody steals your phone and double clicks the side button, but does not have your face, they're not going to get into it. It requires your face and Face ID, not just pressing the button. The button doesn't work. So I'm going to show you just as an example. I'm going to turn it away from my face here, and I'm going to try and get it to work. And it's going to go, there's no face here. And it won't let me do it. It'll offer letting me do it with the passcode, but hopefully that thief doesn't know your passcode. And if your passcode is 1234, change it already. That's dumb. 1111 and 2222 are also dumb. And your birthday is also dumb because that can be figured out. So as long as you have a smart PIN code, your wallet is safe, even though it's connected to that side button, just like that. What else you got? Got another question or two?
We're over time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
I'm
want to
going to answer
remind.
one thing that Bill said before we pop off. Bill
Sure.
said, is there any value in using iOS 17 smart guides with the iOS 18 smart guides that are now available? And the answer is, if we haven't updated it to an iOS 18 smart guide, chances are the changes were minimal and you should be fine to continue using it. If you have an iOS 18 version, use that instead. Get rid of the 17s and get ready to get rid of the 18s too, because OS 26 is going to require new smart guides for everything. And we're working hard to be ready for that in September.
There you go. I just want to
Pull us
remind
back
everybody.
on our two
Yeah.
frame here. Let's get
Yeah,
that
for
screen
sure.
share off.
I just want to remind everybody that we do our best to answer as many questions as we can. The YouTube members get first priority, but anybody that has emailed me or emailed both of us know that we answer every question. So please, if we didn't get to your question today, I'm going to put my email in there one more time. Send it to me. Dylan and I sometimes are up late nights, and we just bang away at these emails and make sure that everybody's answered. So I just want to remind everybody because sometimes we don't get to everybody's question.
The reality is, we could spend 17 hours here and not get to everybody's questions. That's
So
that's the
true.
reality because there's that many questions. And that's why we do these videos regularly. That's why I do the YouTube videos. That's why we have the MacWhisper Academy. If you're feeling like you have more questions than we can answer here, you're probably right. It's probably time for you to set up a one-on-one with me or to come check out one of our classes. And
For
I'd
sure.
love to see you at either or. You've got Frank's email address to make it super easy. I'm just going to wrap us up. Frank, anything that you want to say before I close out?
No, I wanted to thank you for today's lesson because you answered some questions about Apple Pay and Apple Cash that I had when there's some I didn't know. Just like always. Come on here and be like, oh, I already know this one. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. More information I didn't know.
There, there's always more to learn. That's
It's
that's
always
my,
more.
sign off phrase on YouTube. There's always more to learn, and I love that. I don't want to run out of things to learn. So I want to say to everybody who's here, if you're a member, thank you for the support. It makes all the difference in the world. It allows us to do more than you can imagine. It is extremely valuable. And if there's anything that you as members need that you're not getting, just let us know. We're here to take care of you. Even if it's just 99 cents a month, it makes a huge difference to us.
For sure.
Secondly, if you're not a member and this was your first public live experience, thank you so much for coming, hanging out with us. We do private lives every Thursday at noon Pacific time. Any membership level gets access to the private lives. The public lives are the first Thursday of every month, and we try and pick topics that we think will be valuable for a larger group of people. But just know there's more than what we're doing publicly. So if you're interested in this, 99 cents gets you in the door for the other live broadcasts we do every month. And there's a lot of other stuff that comes with that. I'm Dylan Stewart, the Mac Whisperer. I love helping make your Apple stuff work better, making it easier, answering your questions, and trying to keep you out of the rabbit holes. He's Frank DiCarlo. He's my right hand man, helping me get everything done, keeping track of all the chats and all the questions and all the screen shares and so much more than I could ever say thank you for. Thank you, Frank, for being here. We got him to smile multiple times today, guys. I was keeping track of it. So thank you all for being here. I look forward to seeing you again, either in class or on my next YouTube video or at our next live broadcast. Be well. Have a great rest of your Thursday.